My friend, this is Brother Peter again with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you this day, whatever time of day it is, because of the today's power of this machine. It could be morning, noon, or night. In the Lord's Prayer, which goes, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I want to speak on this third excerpt on the Lord's Prayer. Some things that Jesus said to do until I come. Now this is what he told the disciples. Do this until one of two things. Either you die physically on this earth and come be with me in heaven, or I come back. He said, when I come back, there will be some that know this word that will be alive, and I will catch them up with me. The dead first, and then those that are alive. And so some of the things that Jesus said, talking about his second advent over here in Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. It said, For what is a man profited if he gained the whole world and lost his own soul? The soul of man is an eternal thing. My brother Larry asked me to do an excerpt, and I'm going to on these next few. I've got to do some study before I do it. On the worm that dieth not. The worm that dieth not. There is a worm that dieth not. You can put him in the fire, and he will feel the fire, but not die. And that worm is part of the immortal soul of man. There is going to be two places that worm could live. It could live in hellfire forever and squirm forever, never being again satisfied. Or that worm is the soul of the flesh, the soul that could live forever in heaven and be the most, using the terminology of a worm, just using the terminology of a worm, satisfied eating an oak leaf, just nibbling away, and just nibbling, and being happy as can be, and satisfied. And that's what the picture of the soul of man is pictured as a worm, being happy or being in fire. Can you imagine falling off that oak leaf into a bed of coals and yet not being able to die and squirming and laying there squirming and squirming forever, the bed of coals, never being able to get off from it? Wow. Terrible situation to vision. It said, For the Son of Man, which is God in the flesh, shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Wow. Every man has a certain amount of works that he's given to do. Listen, it's like grapes on a vine. Say the Lord's Prayer in the morning before you hit the floor. Say the Lord's Prayer in the morning before you hit the floor. Recognize your Father in heaven every single day before you exit the door. When you leave the mirror for the last time in your bathroom, have the Lord's Prayer on your mind. Have the fact that God is watching you. He's watching your every word. He's watching your every statement. He's watching your every thought. He's watching you. And he's wanting to fellowship 100% of the time with you. Jesus wants to fellowship with you 100% of the time. The only way you can do that is give him 100% of your thinking. Ask him for deliverance. Ask him for guidance. Ask him for what he would have for you in your life. What kind of things he would have for you in the future in your life, if anything in the future in your life. We do not know. I do not know why God has me preparing this place that I'm living in right now. But I do not think He's having me prepare it for me. He's having me to prepare it for somebody after me, for some kind of spiritual work that would be done in the name of the Lord Jesus and be done as a useful place for God to use in the future for some people who follow Him. He says on in verse 28 in here, the last verse of 16, he said, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in His kingdom." Wow. There are some standing there that shall not taste of death until they see the Son of God coming in His kingdom. Wow. Do you know one day the sky is going to split, roll back, and Jesus Himself that went on the cross and died and rose again for you and I is going to come back. At that time that He comes back there, those that have said, "Jesus, forgive me of my sin, come into my heart and save my soul," will go to be with Him. That's the transformation. The first thing we saw in 10 and 23, if you remember, let me go back and read it. In 10 and 23. Let me go back again and read it again. In Matthew 10 and verse 23 was where we started on this one right here. Carrying on with the Lord's Prayer in chapter 10 and verse 23 said this, "But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye unto another, and verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the city of Israel till the Son of Man be come." Listen, you and I have been transformed into the situation as a Jew. We have not been made Jews, we have been made Christians. What is a Christian? A Christian is a person who is Christ-like. Now, He's saying on the second advent, when He's talking to the Jew, He's using the word Israel. When He's talking to you and I, He would say the United States. And the transformation is going to be from the United States to heaven. And from the Jew, it's going to be from Israel to heaven. And that's the way it's going to be. And that's going to be, by the way, there are Messianic, what we call Messianic Jews. Those are Jews who have said, recognized the Messiah and said, "Jesus, forgive me of my sin, come in my heart and save my soul." And they have got on the side that God would deliver them from their sin and from that place of degradation. And these are the 4 tills until I come, for Israel's conversion and for your conversion and my conversion. Let's look at chapter 23 and verse 39. In 23 and 39 he said these very words, Jesus speaking here. Now let's remember, in Matthew is where is recorded the first recording of the Son of God coming to the earth and speaking to mankind. In 39 he said, "For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord." Wow. That is Jesus. Till all the signs of Christ in the second advent are fulfilled. Matthew 24:34. And let's read that one right there. Matthew 24 and 34, and read this. It said, "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh." Wow. Do you know one of the precious and one of the best times, most comfortable times for mankind on the earth of the year is the summertime? Oh, spring is nice coming out of the winter. The trees have put away their rest and started putting their leaves back on and gone back to work. Have you ever thought about the trees resting through the winter? They lay there, they just sit there and rest through the winter. The sap comes down and they sit there and they rest. No weight on their limbs. The wind can blow and it just blows around that stick sticking out. But when you put the leaves on and the wind blows, the tree sways and bends under the pressure of the wind and under the weight of the leaves. Tons of leaves on a tree. A huge oak tree has tons of leaves on it. A picture of a man following the Lord properly, using the proper starting in the morning, the Lord's Prayer, getting going in the day, following the Lord closely. Will he have fiery darts thrown at him? Yes, he will. The fiery darts of the world will come to every man. I mentioned a little while ago, in the workplace, fiery darts from the devil can come by a lady walking by saying, hey, you sure smell good this morning, fella. Hey, you look good this morning, fella. Hey, something, fella. Just anything. Say, hey, I brought 2 sandwiches today. How about sit down and eat dinner with me and I'll give you one of my sandwiches. Hey, the devil will come to you in fiery darts and you do not need to fall for them. Be careful. Be careful, old man, whoever you are, because the devil got Adam with the temptation of having the woman, and he will get you the same way. Wow. I don't really know how to wind up this series on the Lord's Prayer except telling you, learn it. Learn it. Learn it. Use it. And then go to Psalm 23. If you have asked Jesus to forgive you of your sin, come into your heart and save your soul, you need to be able to quote some things. Some things you need to be able to quote. After you've done that, and you can say the Lord's Prayer in the morning, you can say this one. And I used this for years and years and years and still use it on a daily basis. The Lord. That's the Lord in heaven that I recognized in the Lord's Prayer this morning. He is my shepherd. And you know what he does? I don't have to want because I've asked him and he's going to meet the need, my daily bread. So I say I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. How do I know that? Because I asked him this morning to do that today. To give me those green pastures to lay down in. He leads me beside still waters. The water could be rushing and roaring, but as far as God's concerned, there's still waters. He leads me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Wow. For his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Wow. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Wow. Because you're a Christian, you aren't supposed to have enemies. Yes, you'll have enemies. The more Christ-like you become, the more enemies you'll have. But Jesus will stand between you and those enemies. My cup runneth over. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Wow. I'm on this right now, piddling little human being on this earth, but I'm going to dwell in the house of the Lord forever, in that great place in heaven, on a new earth. I don't know what God has in store, but he made man for the earth and earth for the man. And he made it to where he gave man dominion over the earth and a place to be the happiest man could possibly be. And maybe with the new earth, when he gives us it, he's going to bring us again back into a place where we can love this earth. And there'll be no devil. And the proper earth will take place forever as it was supposed to from the beginning. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I must go. See you next time. Bye-bye.